General Medicine, Sree Balaji Medical College and Hospital. I have 5 years of experience and I have 2 publications under me. So today's class is about Cushing Syndrome. Before going to Cushing Syndrome, we need to know what is Cushing Syndrome. It is a hypercortisolism. Then what is Cushing disease? It specifically refers to the Cushing Syndrome caused by the pituitary corticotrope adenoma. We have 2 causes, exogenous cause and endogenous cause. Exogenous cause is iatrogenic induced by giving drug from outside. Then what is endogenous? Endogenous, we have ACTH dependent Cushing syndrome and ACTH independent Cushing syndrome. ACTH dependent Cushing syndrome contributes 90% of the Cushing syndrome, where Cushing disease contributes 75% and ectopic ACTH contributes 15% of the patient. In ACTH independent Cushing syndrome, it contributes 10%. In that, 5 to 10% due to the adrenocortical adenoma and 1% due to the adrenocortical carcinoma. The difference between ACTH secreting pituitary tumor and ectopic ACTH secretion is, in etiology, the ACTH secretion pituitary tumor is due to the adenoma, whereas in ectopic ACTH secretion is due to the bronchial and abdominal carcinoid, small cell lung carcinoma and thymoma. Sex predominance, female is more than male in ACTH secreting pituitary tumor, male more than female in ectopic ACTH secretion. Clinical feature is slow onset in ACTH secreting pituitary tumor and rapid onset with pigmentation and severe myopathy in ectopic ACTH secretion. In Cushing disease, we have microadenoma and macroadenoma. Microadenoma contributes about 90%, macroadenoma contributes about 10%. This table shows about the incidence of ectopic adrenocorticotropic hormone syndrome, where 50% is due to the small cell lung carcinoma and 10% is due to the pancreatic tumor carcinoid, another 10% due to the lung carcinoid, and prostate, breast, ovary and gallbladder and colon carcinoid contribute to other. In clinical manifestation, first is body fat. There will be increased weight gain, central obesity, rounded face, pad of fat on back of the neck. It's called buffalo hump. In skin manifestation, facial plethora, thin and brittle skin, easy bruising, broad and purple stretch mark more than 1 centimeter, acne and hirsutism present. In bone, we have osteopenia, osteoporosis, decreased linear growth in children. In muscle, weakness present and proximal myopathy. In cardiovascular system, patient present with hypertension, hypokalemia, peripheral edema and atherosclerosis. Patient may develop diabetes and dyslipidemia. In the reproductive system, there will be a decreased libido and amenorrhea. In CNS, irritability, emotional liability, depression, cognitive defects, psychosis may present. In blood and immune system, there will be increased infection, increased white blood cell count and eosinophilia and hypercoagulation in present. So investigation of the Cushing syndrome, what are the investigations we have? So 24-hour urine free cortisol level, midnight serum cortisol level and midnight salivary cortisol level. We have a high dose dexamethasone suppression test and low dose dexamethasone suppression test and basal plasma ACTH and CRH test. Imaging, the investigation of choice is MRI of brain to rule out the pituitary cause. Adult imaging to be done, CT or MRI of abdomen. For ectopic ACTH, CT or MRI of abdomen, thorax and pelvis can be done. If MRI of brain and PET scan normal, then we need to do inferior petrosal venous sampling. If the ratio is more than 2, then it confirms pituitary Cushing syndrome. If it is more than 3, it confirms ACTH secreting pituitary tumor with a sensitivity of 95% and almost 100% specificity. So plasma ACTH, if it's more than 15 picogram per ml, then it is a ACTH dependent. If it is less than 5 picogram per ml, it is ACTH independent. So what is the treatment of Cushing syndrome? So mostly it's going to be due to the pituitary adenoma. So what are we going to do? Transsphenoidal resection is a treatment of choice for Cushing syndrome. So remission is about 80% with microadenoma and 50% with macroadenoma. After surgery, patient might need low dose of cortisol. Medical treatment when surgery is not an option or has been unsuccessful. So first drug is paclitaxel, 600 to 900 microgram per day subcutaneous, which is a somatostatin analogs. Ketoconazole, imidazole derivative antimycotic agent. It lowers the cortisol level by inhibiting the P450 enzyme. 600 to 1200 mg BD per day. Mifepristone, 300 to 1200 mg per day. It's a glucocorticoid receptor antagonist, blocks the peripheral action. Miterapone 2 to 4 grams per day, inhibits the 11 beta hydroxylase enzyme. Then mitotane 3 to 6 grams per day in 4 doses. It inhibits the 11 beta hydroxylase and cortisol side chain cleaving enzyme. Also inhibits the cortisol production by destroying adrenocortical cells. So other agents like trilostan 200 to 1000 mg per day, cryptoheptadine 24 mg per day, and etomidate 0.3 mg per day can be given. Students, that's all for the today's class. We will meet again next class with an interesting topic. Thank you.